So recently, this article from The Baffler has been going around, not really going around, a friend of mine shared it. And it's on thebaffler.com. It's called Life Hacks of the Poor and Aimless on Negotiating the False Idols of Neoliberal Self-Care. And it's by Lori Penny. And there's something in it that kind of stood out to me. A lot of it stood out. It's a really good article. You should definitely read it. But there's a section of it that's it's talking about positive thinking and this idea that the deeper you are in self-love, the richer you are, is one of the quotes. And then it asks the question, can all of this positive thinking be actively harmful? And it cites Carl Cederstrom and Andre Spicer, who are authors of The Wellness Syndrome, and they think that it can. There's something that it talks about. Where is it? Here we go. It cites another essay in Open Democracy where Chloe King writes that changing your attitudes is not going to change or help dismantle structural injustice and has failed and unsustainable and has and a failed and unsustainable economic model which serves only the elite rich of this world and exploits the rest of us. As far as I'm concerned, positive thinking will fucking ruin your life. Just think positive is a precursor to it gets better. And the hard reality is it is only going to get much, much worse for our most vulnerable. So it's talking about injustices in general. I'm going to kind of talk about the ableist ideas that come from the idea that you should just think positive. A lot of people for a lot of people, thinking positive is really good. It helps them. It makes them feel better. If that works for you, totally do it. Whatever kind of helps you get through life is important. But this idea that people who either it works for them or people who haven't dealt with illnesses at all are telling other people all they need to do is think positive is fucking bullshit. And I think looks at the bigger problem that it makes people feel that if they're not thinking positive, that's why they're not getting better, which is absolutely ridiculous. There's a lot of medical reasons why someone doesn't get better, and there's a lot of systemic issues in place for why people aren't getting better either, healthcare systems, things like that. So when I was really sick last year, I tend to be a very optimistic person. I'm a little bit cynical sometimes, but I like to believe that things are going to go well. And when I was really, really sick, everyone was like, oh, just think positive, like you'll get better, all of these narratives. So I thought positive, and I'm like, oh, like, they said in 4 to 6 weeks I should be better, so like it's fine, I can do this, it's okay. And then 4 to 6 weeks I was worse, and worse and worse and worse. So you get this idea that what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm following doctor's orders-ish, and I'm thinking positive, and everyone says if you think positive, like, good things will happen to you, which is fucking bullshit sometimes. And it really fucks with your mental health. If you have this belief that if you think positive, everything will go well and everything is getting worse, you start to blame yourself because obviously you're not doing something right. You should be better. Everyone tells you that you just have to maintain a good outlook on life and you'll get better. And then you're not. So I think it's really detrimental to people who think that if they think positive, they will get better and aren't getting better. And I think it's detrimental to people who can't deal with that. When I started to be like, okay, you know what? I'm not getting better. This fucking sucks. I hate this. And started kind of reframing how I looked at things to be like, well, I've put so much effort into this. I'm not fucking dying. Which a lot of people might think that's not really the most optimistic or positive outlook on life. Like, hey, at least I'm not dead. Doesn't really fit into those like self-love, happiness narratives that people perpetuate as signs of good health. And it really starts to mess with your mental health. And I think the whole idea of thinking positive also can be detrimental to people who have mental health concerns or battles that they're fighting, because they may not have the capacity to have those, like, thinking positive thoughts things. And then what? Like, they aren't getting better because they can't think positive? That's fucking bullshit. Um, so I think everybody should go read that article, and think about what you're saying to other people. And just because you think that thinking positive will help and make everything magically better doesn't mean that you should force those beliefs on other people, because some people just need to deal with their shit in their own way. Um, and then I'm not even get better. Some people aren't going to get better. And I think telling them that if they think positive, they will get better is a really fucking asshole thing to do. It's like telling somebody that if they just think positive, women will stop being missing and murdered. If you just think positive, black people will stop getting shot by cops in America. I think it's just, we need to look at the bigger systems in place that make people feel that they're forced to have to think positive, or put on a positive face in society, and actually look at what that message is doing to people, and doing to maintain the systems in place that make people feel like shit.